Throughout history, weather has proven to be one of the most unpredictable and destructive forces on Earth. From the tranquil beauty of a summer breeze to the unbridled fury of a hurricane, it shapes our world in profound ways. But sometimes the delicate balance tips and nature unleashes its raw power, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Today, we journey into the heart of these cataclysmic events, exploring the top 10 most devastating weather events that have shocked the world. These aren't just stories of destruction. They are stark reminders of nature's power and the resilience of humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. Join me as we delve into the science behind these events, the stories of those who lived through them, and the lessons learned that continue to shape our understanding of the planet we call home. Our journey begins with the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, a slow-burning environmental disaster that ravaged America's heartland. Imagine a land once teeming with life, transformed into a parched wasteland, choked by dust storms of unimaginable scale. Years of intensive farming practices, coupled with severe drought, left the topsoil bare and vulnerable. The wind became a ferocious beast, whipping the dry earth into massive black blizzards that blotted out the sun. For millions of Americans, the Dust Bowl wasn't just a weather event, it was a fight for survival, forcing many to flee their homes. The Dust Bowl stands as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between nature and human activity and the devastating consequences when that balance is disrupted. The year is 1900. The bustling port city of Galveston, Texas, stands as a testament to human ambition. But on September 8th, nature would unleash a terrifying force, forever altering the city's fate. The Great Galveston Hurricane, a Category 4 behemoth, roared ashore with a vengeance, unleashing its wrath on the unsuspecting city. The storm's surge, a monstrous wall of water, swallowed homes and businesses whole. With an estimated 8,000 souls claimed, the Great Galveston Hurricane remains the deadliest natural disaster in US history. The once proud city lay in ruins, its streets choked with debris, its air thick with the stench of death and decay. The storm left a haunting scar on Galveston, both physically and psychologically. At number 1, we have the 1931 China floods, a series of catastrophic floods along the Yangtze, Yellow and Huai rivers. Imagine a land submerged by an unrelenting deluge that lasted for months, turning rivers into inland seas. The summer of 1931 saw unprecedented rainfall lash the already swollen rivers of China. With an estimated death toll reaching up to 4 million people, the 1931 China floods stand as the deadliest weather-related disaster in recorded history. The floods brought with them not just immediate death and destruction, but also the spectre of famine and disease. The already impoverished nation was brought to its knees, struggling to cope with the sheer scale of the disaster. The 1931 China floods serve as a chilling reminder of the devastating power of nature and the vulnerability of even the most populous nations. Coming in at number 2, the Tangshan earthquake in 1976 was one of the deadliest earthquakes of the 20th century. Imagine waking in the dead of night. It is 3:42 a.m., July 28, 1976. The ground beneath you begins to tremble, a gentle tremor at first, then a violent shaking that intensifies with each passing second. The Tangshan earthquake, a monstrous tremor measuring 7.5 on the Richter scale, struck with brutal force, reducing this industrial city in northeastern China to rubble in a matter of seconds. With an estimated death toll of 242,000 people, the Tangshan earthquake stands as one of the deadliest seismic events in human history. Entire families were wiped out, buried beneath the rubble of their homes. The Tangshan earthquake serves as a stark reminder of the awesome power of nature and the vulnerability of human civilization. At number 3, we have the Bola cyclone of 1970. The deadliest tropical cyclone in recorded history. Imagine a storm so powerful, so devastating, that it leaves an entire nation reeling in its wake. On November 12th, a monstrous storm Packing winds of up to 115 miles per hour slammed into the densely populated Ganges Delta region of East Pakistan. The storm surge, a wall of water over 20 feet high, roared inland for miles, engulfing entire villages and towns. With estimates ranging from 300,000 to 500,000 fatalities, the Bola cyclone stands as a chilling reminder of nature's raw power. Entire communities were wiped out, their stories lost to the storm's fury. The polar cyclone was not just a natural disaster, it was a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. At number 4, Cyclone Nargis hit Myanmar in 2008 with deadly force, creating storm surges over 25 miles inland. Imagine a nation already isolated from the world, suddenly brought to its knees by a natural disaster of unimaginable proportions. On May 2nd, Nargis, a powerful Category 4 cyclone, slammed into Myanmar's Irrawaddy Delta region. The storm surge, a towering wall of water over 12 feet high, surged inland for miles, swallowing entire villages and towns. The official death toll from Cyclone Nargis stands at over 138,000, but the true number is believed to be much higher. Thousands remained missing, their bodies lost to the storm surge or buried beneath the rubble. Cyclone Nargis exposed the vulnerability of a nation already struggling with poverty, political isolation and limited resources. Number 5 is Hurricane Katrina, which tore through the Gulf Coast in 2005. Imagine a city, a cultural icon, slowly drowning beneath the weight of its own broken defenses. On August 29th, Katrina, a monstrous Category 5 hurricane, made landfall, its sights set on the Gulf Coast of the United States. The storm surge, a wall of water over 20 feet high, slammed into the levees protecting New Orleans, overwhelming the city's fragile defenses. Nearly 2,000 lives were lost, many of them in New Orleans, where residents were trapped in their homes or stranded on rooftops. The storm displaced over 1 million people, leaving them scattered across the country, searching for refuge and a sense of normalcy. Hurricane Katrina exposed the failures of infrastructure and the deep-seated inequalities that left the poorest and most vulnerable communities most at risk. At number 6, we look back at the European heatwave of 2003. Imagine a summer so hot, so relentless that it grips an entire continent in its fiery embrace. From June to August, a massive dome of high pressure settled over Europe, trapping hot air and sending temperatures soaring to record highs. Over 70,000 people, many of them elderly and vulnerable, succumbed to heat stroke, dehydration and other heat-related illnesses. The heat wave exposed the vulnerability of even the most developed nations to extreme weather events. It highlighted the need for better urban planning, heat-resistant infrastructure, and public health measures to protect citizens from the dangers of extreme heat. The 2003 European heatwave was a wake-up call to a continent and a world grappling with the realities of climate change. Coming in at number 7 is Super Typhoon Haiyan, one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded. Imagine a storm so powerful, so destructive, that it rewrites the record books and leaves an entire nation reeling in its wake. On November 8th, Haiyan, packing winds of over 195 miles per hour, slammed into the eastern Philippines. Tacloban City, a bustling port city on Leyte Island, bore the brunt of Haiyan's fury. Over 6,000 people lost their lives, many of them in Tacloban City, where the storm surge caught residents off guard. Millions more were displaced, their homes and livelihoods reduced to rubble. Super Typhoon Haiyan exposed the vulnerability of island nations to the increasing intensity of tropical cyclones. At number 8, we remember the catastrophic Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. Imagine a day that begins like any other, the sun shining, the air filled with the sounds of life. Then, without warning, the earth trembles, a deep primal shudder that sends shivers down your spine. On December 26, 2004, a massive 9.1 magnitude earthquake ripped through the ocean floor off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The earthquake triggered a series of tsunamis, the deadliest in recorded history, that radiated outwards, striking coastal communities across the Indian Ocean. Over 230,000 people lost their lives, their stories cut short by the relentless wall of water. The Indian Ocean tsunami was not confined by borders. Its destructive reach extended across 14 countries, from Indonesia to Thailand, Sri Lanka to Somalia. These events, each etched in our collective memory, remind us of nature's unpredictable power and the resilience of the human spirit. As we've journeyed through these stories of devastation and resilience, we've witnessed the awesome power of nature and the fragility of human life. But amidst the wreckage and despair, we've also witnessed the indomitable spirit of humanity. These events are not just stories of the past. They are stark reminders of the challenges we face in an ever-changing world. Climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, putting millions of lives at risk. Preparation, awareness, and climate action have never been more important as we face an ever-changing world. Which weather event impacted you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more fascinating stories.